What's up, brother man?
Nothing much. I'm just happy to be here. See what dust we can kick up tonight.
Hey, I already asked Carrie to leave a couple of beehives around for us to kick because she good at because you go there, she done smashed them all up and she be like, me? Yes, you, man.
Right.
Carrie be kicking up dust, man. Folks, let me see who we got in here. I am Q. What's up, Q? Ed Niece. Hey, Carrie. Carrie, don't pay no attention. That was Sly talking about you. That wasn't me. Owen Smith. Okay, and then I see. I'm looking at. Well, we got those there, and then we got some hiding in the shadows. Hi, Shadow. Hey, Shadow folks, hit the like button. Help the keep the algorithm going. Because I see. Sly's a trip. Seeing and listen to somebody say something that you say exactly what we say exactly word for word. Word for word. Won't even shout a joke out, right? You know,
that's the worst thing they could do.
Man, I don't like Nick Taylor, but you know, y'all see that. We gonna keep this clean because y'all notice we ain't bring up Truth Teller. So because we gonna try to keep it up here so we can keep it going. What's up, Techie? And we can keep it going. And I'm gonna leave it up. Hey, my last stream I done, Sly, they took it down.
Damn.
They took it down in 2 days. In 2 days, they took it down. No notification, no email, no nothing.
Wow.
If it wasn't for Natasha's, saying, that she was trying, and then I go back and look, it's gone. Said that somebody filed a copyright complaint against me.
Well, no. Oh, okay. Not a typical you're using copyrighted material, but somebody actually made a point to go after you. Wow.
Yeah. Little guy. Don't even, little old guy ain't even got 1,000 subs and went from 9,000 subs to 500 and some odd subs, right? and ain't changed a bit. Folks, y'all, now most of y'all, now this is mainly going to be for the cloud watchers because I watch the stuff that people say about Sly in chats on other channels. Who is that? Is he a devil worshiper? He got a devil on his sweatshirt. I'm like, that's Baphomet. What? And I'm in there type Baphomet.
That's not helping.
Yeah, I'm not helping, right? I'm not helping. I was trying to help. But I'm doing that and people, so I'm going to ask some questions that I already know the answer to, and some of the others know the answer to, and know it ain't have nothing to do with dark spirituality and none of that other stuff. It's just music. We're sticking to the topic, okay? And this is what I'm planning on doing here now. I'm going to be plucking people. Keep it techie next. Don't tell them. I already got him set up in the queue. I'm gonna pluck him next and put him in the hot seat. And damn, I hope he probably ain't hear me. But we're gonna do that. And Q was on deck too, because I am Q. We talked about it before, but then I was moving and had to relocate the company, and that's when I didn't stream for I didn't go live for months, right?
Yeah,
I didn't have time. But I got but things are starting to come together because Q is in the digital realm.
Okay.
So, I want to get up here with him as well. But y'all, we're going to ask now as we go along, if y'all have any questions of Sly, put them in the chat. So hopefully I'll see it and I'll highlight it so he can read it. Still here for it. That's cool, Q. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like I say, I had to move the whole freaking. You don't realize how much stuff you got, Sly, until you got to move a company.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my God. I'm like, man, where did all this stuff come
See,
from?
we be unfairly judging the hoarders when we watch hoarders, and that
Yes.
be us.
And then here's something. I bought another one because I couldn't find this one. And
Yeah.
wasting money. So, y'all, this is what we gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask him some questions that I already know the answer to, but it ain't about me. It's for y'all. Okay. And we're gonna leave this one up because I'm not gonna play any copyrighted, nothing. It's just gonna be us talking. All right. All right. Sly, anything you want before I get started? Anything you want to just F y'all or how y'all doing? Thanks for coming. You know.
I think I've done enough of that for the last 72 hours.
Yeah. All them beehive stings on your foot from kicking these beehives. You better be glad you ain't allergic to bees. Okay. Hey, okay. So when and at what age did you even contemplate? When you was growing up, did you ever think that you would have got involved with the music industry?
Yeah, because my dad had me playing guitar early, but he was he was a Nazi about it, man. It wasn't fun. He would make me perform in front of friends and family.
So he Joe Jackson.
Yeah, and I was like, it ain't fun anymore. I mean, I had a first guitar. He bought me a Flying V. It was an Oakwood Flying V.
Yeah.
And that's the one I played on, and after, like I said, like I think
you was in Def Leppard there.
Yeah, hey, listen, I was in it. I mean, listen, Kiss, any rock and roll, I was in it. But he's a blues guy, so he always plays blues records and stuff. So that's what he was. That was his style of playing. But I was immersed into it, man. But it wasn't fun after a while. Like I stopped right around 10. I stopped playing. I just said, you know what, the hell with it.
Wow.
Yeah. I hate that quit. I hate that parents don't want to be like, well, I'm gonna make him do it, but he was like, you know what? Okay, if you don't want to, and I just got into sports and pretty much never looked back and never picked up a guitar again after that. But I wish I had stuck with it, man, because I don't know where I'd be. As far as musically in my head, where I get everything, I can see them play, I understand it, just can't go up there.
And like you said before, with some of these guys that wanted to be in the rap game or whatever, producing, but then when they learned to play an instrument, it took them to an entirely different level.
Changes their whole sound.
Yeah. And like me, I mean, I started playing the bass at 13.
Okay.
But then this army thing got in the way and people shooting at you and they making you jump out of airplanes and all kind of other stuff. It kind of got in the way. just a little bit. Right? But okay, so that was good. So the guitar, and so how did you go from there to what was your first job in the industry?
I ran cables for Mosey. So when I moved to Indiana, I was going to Indiana University down in Bloomington, Indiana. And my future partner I was managing a car wash at him, and he was the teen prodigy, and his mother moved him from LA to Indiana to study under Mo. And then we linked up, and then I was over there every night running cables, man. That's all I did for 6 months was just run cables, plugs, just running plugs. That's it. That's all. To
the console, mixers, microphones.
That's it.
Everything, boy. One bad XLR cable or one bad vacuum tube will ruin your freaking. Oh my. One damn tube, one vacuum tube, but you can't fix it till you find it.
Yeah, if there was a hum or a hiss, I had to run cables to find it. I had to pull cables to find it.
Yeah. And then sometimes be mad. They go, oh, wait a minute. So sorry, Sly, I found it. Click. They got to switch from dynamic to condenser on the damn. You know what I mean? On the you.
Or if you didn't push it in all the way, it's just like it's just hanging out by a quarter inch. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah.
Like, dude, you killing me. Yeah. Okay. So all right. So so you kind of went, it didn't come to you, you kind of went to
I
it.
went
So
to it.
you
Yeah.
just felt this gravitational, this gravitation, somebody blowing my phone up. Um so Indiana, that was the thing, and you didn't see it as, you felt it was more than just a job, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like a calling, like you
Right.
felt it.
Yeah. I didn't have to think about it. I was like, this is what I want to do. Some form, shape, or fashion. I wanted to be in the business, and I got this guy right here. That's done Tupac albums and stuff. So in Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I'm like, well, who else better than this guy here? So yeah.
What was your first label that you went to?
It was it was Priority was the first label.
Wow, Priority Records.
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of. So wait a minute. So I got a bunch of Priority Records over there, y'all. I'm like, I'm gonna throw them away now that Slide, had something to do with. Ain't this some crap, man? Throw them away. And so how did you? All right, so from running the studio setup and cables and mics and mods and everything, what was your next step? Where'd you go up from there?
So after that, now mind you, I was in Indiana for about 2.5 years. So under Mo, I learned the drum machine. That's when you start getting into actual record producing, little engineering tricks, mixing tricks, things of that nature. So after like 2.5 years, my partner was like, "Yo, I'm going back because it's time for me to come back. They want you to come with me. We'll do this thing together." And I was like, "Well, we're gonna leave Mo. What about Mo? And at the time, he's working with Mellencamp, so he was already off doing crazy tours and leave us.
Yeah, John Cougar. Yeah,
yeah. So we got his blessing, and we moved with him to LA basically, and we started a production company and just start crafting tracks and selling tracks, demo tracks, things of that nature. Hooked up with Master P. So somehow I don't even know how I got my I worked on that they were at the end of their contract with Priority, and Don P was that like their last artist under the Priority contract. So I got the A&R credit for that, and because we were always up in Oakland. So I don't even know why we ended up in Oakland all the time, but we were always up in Oakland, Richmond.
In Oakland?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where he was pretty much. They had a studio up there, and we were just back and forth to Oakland a whole lot, and I hooked up with one of Brian Turner's assistants. And they were like, "Hey, we like you guys, whatever the case may be." My partner's like, he was like, I just want to produce. I don't care about the business part of it. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll try it. I'll take a crack at it. And we vibe pretty good. Went over the artist, the imagery, because they were still using pen and pixel. For everybody that remembers Master P, that's all they used, the pen and pixel graphics. That's where it had the big blocky, all the bling jewelry and the fire and the cars, and there's the rapper right there. Like, it was pretty much cut and paste for all their albums.
Yeah, the album covers. Yeah. all the hood record music covers. The albums were all the same.
Yeah, everybody went to pen and pixel for their graphics.
I'm like, do any of you people know what a photographer is?
Man, listen, it was on a budget. Everybody's on a budget, and I mean, it just looked, for the time, it worked.
Yeah, but you look at it now, it looks like cheesy.
Oh, yes.
I mean, look at the 400 degree. Look at that album cover now. It looks so cheesy.
I mean, you can see like the blurring on every image. It looks like, you know what it looks like now? It looks like people's thumbnails on YouTube when they just throw a bunch of collages together. And they all got the red or the colored outline. It's like, that's pen and pixel.
Yes. Too short album covers. I used to be like, man, too short. Are you short? You gotta have somebody that can do better than this. Too short. Come on, man. But I guess he is like, he ain't worried about the cover. He worried about the
last thing. Listen, that was the last thing you were worried about, is the album cover,
Yeah, well, a lot of the rock and prog, it's the other way around. The album cover has to, it's like it's telling you what, like, pretty much what's in it, or like the lead track or something like that, Dark Side of the Moon or The Wall, or you know what I mean, or or whatever the heck. It's like the album cover was, I think that kind of went away with vinyl, because when you went from big vinyl to little cassette, you know what I mean? And then the little CD, I think the need for a high-end presentation kind of went away. I'm thinking that's the way my brain works.
Yeah. And plus, once again, I tell people it's urban. You don't expect much out of urban music, rap music. It's like,
Wow.
okay, it's just kind of, it's expected, sadly. To even still to this day, that stigma's still there. Like, we even had to fight to establish a playlist. Like, it has to tell a story through the song titles. Rock, pop, country, it's not, they just don't throw it out there. It's like 1 through 10 tells a story. And I'm trying to convince the artist, like, look, you just can't put, the government trying to kill me as the first song. It's like, no, you go with your street record, and then there's your first single. And then like maybe songs 4, 5, and 6 are your filler records. And then you finish strong with, maybe your second single as one of the last records on the playlist. You had to kind of fight to get that mentality in their heads to a certain extent. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What's up, Irv? My brother came and saw me a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I was that good. Anytime I get to see my brother, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Do you still stay in contact with any of them folks? Like y'all, I mean, not for work wise. Hey man, how you doing? Hey, congratulations on this. Mama.
Yeah.
Heard you got had another baby or whatever.
Yeah, my main partner, he died recently. They finally took him off the ventilator.
Oh man.
My other guy that it was a trio of us, but he's still working on stuff. He shoots me stuff. What do I think about it? I mean, I still got my name on stuff that's coming out. So, yeah, I mean, that part of the business really never stopped. If it comes to me, it comes to me. I'm at that point now. I'm to the point where people still think about me and call me and send me stuff or get my opinion, or do I want to get involved in projects, which is cool. I mean, that's
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that they think enough of you to your opinion,
Yeah. So
but that means is your work, precedes you, your product that you put out. Because if they thought you put out a trash product, they wouldn't even bother with you.
It's funny because back then, we got in so many back and forth with all these established folks. They were stuck in their ways. We saw visions and trends ahead of the time, and trying to convince those people to take a risk on these nobodies to take a risk on a vision. And it was like pulling teeth. And now to see some of these things, even like back then, 5 years later, I'm like, okay, you guys were right. Yeah, we were right, but it's okay.
Yeah, but now it's too late.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's probably one of them things. You gotta, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud because, like I say, I don't know music. I know the product. I don't know how the sausage is made like you. You know how the sausage is made. I just know the type of sausage I like. You know what I mean? And how to cook it. And this sausage goes with that. This one goes, but how to make it, I couldn't tell you. Like I say, I'm just lucky I got my $1,200 for them 3 studio sessions. I'm like, I know I done more than $1,200 work. I took it though. I took it.
As you should.
See? I mean, I needed the money. I needed the money. It was $1,200 more than I had.
Yeah.
So I took it. So yeah, Meech, I needed the money. I mean, I ain't gonna front. I needed the money. Do you remember the first artist, big or small, group artist that you ever came into contact with?
Nelly Furtado. When this is when she was just signed to DreamWorks, and she had that first single, Fly Away or something. She was still kind of bubbling, but she was the first major signed artist that we had direct dealings with. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we did a remix for her for that record, but they only released it overseas. They did that a lot of times too.
Explain, how does that work? How does that work?
So they'll pick 5 producers, 5 teams, and they'll say, hey, we want all 5 of you guys to give us your best remix version of this particular record.
Mhm.
Everybody goes into their studios and do their own thing. We turn it in, and they'll pick the best ones. Or the politics is, if this record is too good by these nobodies, it's going to make Timberland look like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So they'll be like, you know what? Let's just release this over here in Germany. We'll keep it in that territory. We'll keep it over there, Italy. So you have a lot of artists you've never heard of that have plaques from other countries for records you didn't know existed.
So we didn't even get the fire stuff. We just got the,
oh gosh, no,
the mediocre.
That remix they had, we were up against Swiss. It was us, and then 2 other nobodies. And politics with us and Swiss. Swiss had just had Interscope. They're trying to put them over, as the next biggest thing, whatever. And then here we come, like we know your shit is not. We know we're good. And that's part of the problem. We were not humble. We were not, oh, thank you for the opportunity. And, we were like, no, we're here for a reason. Obviously, you called us for, I guess had we been a little bit more humble in our beginnings, we probably would have got more, I guess, not ruffle so many feathers.
Wait a minute. You trying to say that you were brash and forward? You?
Listen, to this day,
not you.
I still feel bad for getting in that argument with Miss Toy's manager, but that was the nature of the business. There was no time for trying to be soft and cuddly. Like this is what, the 2000s? Like the beginning of 2000s, when big money was coming in, big budgets. This is when, for me, I saw hip hop. Even when people say the money came in in 2000s. This is when people started getting $1 million for videos, just for the videos. Hype Williams, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's budgets were just like through the roof. So if we can get 50 grand for a remix record that never comes out in the States, but it may do something over here in the Netherlands, yeah, we'll take that. Thank you. Yeah.
I got some remixes, and I guess it kind of makes sense because I was in Germany for almost 4 years, and I was in Belgium and whatnot, and of Depeche Mode or Pet Shop Boys, you know what I mean? Where they didn't, it's a 2 songs, Loves Come Quickly and DJ Culture, you know what I mean? And they're different, and it's not on the album. And I didn't hear them when I come back to the States, and people that's into that type, where did you get, dude? This was $3 on the stand and in the book, because the bookstore. Here's the thing, in Germany, well, you know how they had the magazine stands on the East Coast, the newspaper stands. The guy would say, "Hey, so who is this? Hey, I'm going to get the papers. Get the papers." What's his name? Something 2 Time. The Mob movie. Movie. Jimmy, was it Jimmy?
Jimmy 2 Time.
Jimmy 2 Time. Yeah, I'm going to get the papers. Get the papers. I said, he's famous for having one line. And if all you got to do is show the meme of him holding his tie like that, people, get the papers, get the papers. He probably kill you though. But you had the magazine stand, we call the newspaper stand in Detroit, where you can get all the newspapers and all the magazines, they got them up there. When Germany, they also would sell choice, like you can get a cassette tape, you can buy CD remixes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And because the only thing I gotta do is I see Pet Shop Boys, I'm buying it. I see Bauhaus, I'm buying it. I see Joy Division, I'm buying it. I see Depeche Mode, I'm buying it. I don't even, and I'm like, I've never, you know what I mean? And some of them not some of them were, but some of them were, and that's how I came across a guy named Shep Pettibone.
Okay.
That's that redone. Anyway, yeah, but he's good. So, you said the video part. So, is there been a time, all right, where you guys then made this, but the video want to use it, they want to get this, and y'all have to mix together. Well, you got to chop this down, or because the video they don't want it to be no more than 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and your thing is 4 minutes. Or is that something that you didn't have to monkey with?
No, that's just like a screenwriter. He turns in the draft, the screenplay, and then the producers and the director in the studio craft the final vision of what they wrote. So no, once they approved the record and cut a check, that's all we cared about.
Cut the check.
A lot of times they already give you a list of parameters of what they're looking for with these records, especially for demo records. They'll give you a tempo, what type of musical vibe they're looking for, who the artist, the range, key of range, what note it's, what I'm saying? So they give you a pretty good list of what they're expecting for you to turn in. BP, time of length of song, all that good stuff. So by the time you turn in a product for them to possibly use, you've already hit all your metrics. Yeah. And then it depends on how much the A&R likes you. That the politics is always, it's the never ending. It's always there. So you can have the most hottest record, but if for whatever reason you piss him off, he doesn't like you, somebody says something wrong to him, they'll skip it. They'll cut off their nose despite their face. It happens all the time. That like the best music, you don't hear the best music. For what you think about what you've heard from hip hop, from all the leading singles, from the 2000s era, a lot of records I've heard that will blow those singles out the water, but because of relationships, somebody paid somebody this. Somebody has a better relationship over here, they'll go with that person, kind of, So it's just like the NBA. If you think the best players are in the NBA, I know there's guys.
Yeah, same thing with the NFL.
Yeah,
dude, some of the baddest. I knew some bad guys that never made it to the stage.
Yeah,
and they were monsters.
Yeah,
monsters. In a time when Black divisions to cultivate Black artists, then the major record companies remove them. Why? I don't know, Etnies.
For the Black divisions, that costs money. So if you have a label of 10 artists, that's 10 projects you have to craft, and you hope out of that 10, 3 will make enough money to fund the other 7. And if you cut that in half, and out of 5, you got 3 that can fund it, that's less overhead. Once again, Black urban division, they're not, it's a demotion. So when you see these execs go to head up new position at urban this or Black division that, it's a demotion. Yeah, it's like going to the dungeons. Like, you've been sentenced for a crime. Like, it's
wow.
That's nothing to brag about, unfortunately.
So is it the artist or the industry that's to blame?
Oh, that's total industry.
The industry?
Total industry, yeah.
Yeah, I figured that one, the industry. Okay, so you said about that part there. So, all right, I done got ahead of myself. I know what an A&R man is. Explain to them what the job is of the A&R man and what A&R stands for.
Artist and repertoire. So you are the liaison between the label and the artist. It used to mean you would go to the clubs, you would fly out different parts of the country, wherever, and find whatever the hottest artist of that region is, sign them, bring them to the label, convince the label to sign them, and you are responsible for crafting finished product, image, music, media training. Back then, you actually had media training. So this whole social media thing,
training?
Yeah.
Wow.
You would have mock interviews and teach them, record them, and say, okay, see how your posture is this, and see you said too many times. Stop doing that. So
they need to stop sounding like me.
Well, when you like, you tell your kids, like, quit saying is the first thing. Like, I get told that a lot too. Like, when I would ask or answer a question, quit saying or you're stumbling, you're mumbling, and so you would just the entire facet from start to finish, you would turn in a finished product, and then The label, you turn in records. The label's like, okay, we like this, we like this. We don't like that, we don't like that. Then you go back to the artist. Okay, they like this, they like this. They don't like that. Oh, but I'm an artist, man. Those records, I feel those records. I'm like, I hear you, but this is what the label wants. So you kind of have to play a happy medium. And it's almost sometimes like babysitting, because if you get some of these artists that have habits and
or like they ain't fully matured or grown yet,
they have a wild streak in them, you're the guy that gets the call at 2-3 in the morning because they need to be bailed out of jail, or they're passed out at a club. They drunk too much. Between you and the manager, you get those phone calls, right? And then you have your bi-weekly staff meetings. Bring the artist in to meet the label people that's working for him at the label. He'd meet his production manager, product placement, you know, the people that make his career what it is, you know? So, yeah, that's what we used to do. That's what we used to do.
Who was the easiest one that you had to work with? I mean, just low maintenance. I mean, that what not complete, you know what I mean by low maintenance. Like they just wasn't, they were easy to keep in line, if you will.
There's this white chick, she played a guitar. Oh, there's this other white kid too that came out the same time as Justin Bieber. They were cool because they had parents. Their parents were involved. They were easier to manage because they're of their parents. I would say that. You get these artists that don't have the parental structure, they're more problematic.
So basically you're saying if they came from the end of the trailer park or the hood, or his name is Dontarian and his mama got weave and whatnot, walk in smoking a blunt, he gonna be a problem.
Yeah, and part of it too is, you know, these people go from something to nothing literally in the process
overnight.
Overnight, you know, and some people can't.
Yeah, if you ain't used to having money, if you ain't used to being around people with money, it's kind of, I can speak to that part. Yeah, that's all right. So now you were saying about the A&R. All right. So how is there like a carved in stone way of how you try to promote promote an artist, or is it just depending on the artist himself, him or herself?
So back then you had street teams, street DJs, you get a budget from the label. Okay, go pay these 10 DJs across these 5 or 6 states, pay them whatever to spin these records. You go program directors at whatever big radio station. If it's an E1 radio station or a clear channel radio station, you go there and basically bring the artist and try to convince the program director as to why they need to add your record to the rotation. You had to sell the product. They had to sell themselves, sell the product, sell themselves to the program directors. You know, a lot of times the phone calls already made to the program director, say, hey, we got this new kid coming down with this record, you know, just whatever, put them through the rigmarole. And if you got one popping in one region, then that more than likely it will pop in other regions. So you just basically go on these chitlin circuit tours to these different radio stations, depending on what type of artist. If we're talking about urban artists, mainly down south, and then wherever they're from their hometown. And you just go on these relentless bus tours of just promoting the record. They're always performing. They're always at a radio station, blah, blah, blah. Got to shoot the video. But a lot of those steps are no longer. So it was a real grind. Sometimes it would take you 8 months to a year to properly break an artist.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I say, so they've gotten rid of payola.
So they say.
I mean, we'll be cool with that. I like both of my legs operational, so I'm good. Okay, well that's, man, this is so how do you find the talent? I mean, does the talent come to you, or you just gotta ride around? And I mean, well, you know what I mean by ride. I mean,
yeah, a lot of times you just talk.
It's word of mouth. A lot of word of mouth.
Well, yeah, if the DJ knows who you are, then more than likely you're doing something right. So you go to the DJs first. You go to the clubs, whatever. Like, hey, who's what record you spinning, who's hot, and they'll tell you. If you don't catch their ear, then you're not doing it right. So if they know of you, if they're playing your records, go to the strip clubs. Hey, what record y'all spinning? Who's hot out here? And there's your answer. That's your first breadcrumb, And then you see if they're doing, if they're performing on their own, doing little shows on their own. That's another plus, and as to why you would sign somebody, because they see they're self-driven and they're motivated. And then you look at them and do they have a look? What's the stage presence like? Is there something that labels want to spend a couple million on to promote? And then you bring them to the label and say, look, I need you to knock them out. And that's when you get the infamous boardroom performances where you see the guys hop on the desk in front of a bunch of white people and a couple blacks, to convince them to get signed.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know I ain't built like that. Hey, man, hop up there on that tape. What? Man, I'm going, man, well, give me my guitar.
That's why the artist showcase used to be so important. So you would have an artist showcase. You invite everybody who's anybody they would come out and watch them perform a 4 or 5 set song. And usually the label president is there, and that you would just put on a show for all these industry folk. And normally by the end of the night, you'd have a deal or not. Yeah.
It's like going to the combine, basically, for us football guy.
Exactly what it is. Yes. Yeah.
And hope Deion Sanders don't show up and run a 4-2 with a Jerry curl and a necklace on, and he outran everybody and didn't even warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. I like that. So, is there a different way that you guys handle male versus female performers, or they get all thrown into the same meat grinder?
Oh, same meat grinder, just different grades of how we're going to grind them up finely, or big chops. Female artists are always the worst to deal with. That's never changed. You got to worry about them sleeping with the producer. That never changes. So every time
your PP at home, leave your PP at the house.
That will never go away.
Cause man, one thing, I ain't never been in y'all business, and I don't want to be. Hey, Lanice, there she is. I told her, see the slide. Lanice was calling you names and all kind of other stuff because you messed up the one last night, and I told her we is doing it tonight, and I was gonna roll it all into one. You wait till I see. So if you see a dark skinned woman about this tall with the afro puff in the back, run.
That's okay. That's
her. But but I was figured that's I was not. Yeah. But man, I was like, they I've never but I guess that's in every line of business. If you the manager of the Walmart, or you know what I mean, I ain't never understood. I can't let my wee get in the way of my progress. I'm trying to do some stuff. I can get that anytime, anywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
come on, man.
We had a female artist. She at one point was signed to Def Jam, but it fell apart because my buddy, the producer, was sleeping with her, right? And he had other women on the side, and she got jealous, and she couldn't focus. And this woman, she was 5'11", dark. She was a tall, just picturing Foxy Brown at 5'10", 5'11".
Wow.
Yeah. Black Ice. That was her name, Black Ice. And the issue we had with her name at the time, they had a slam poet named Black Ice, because back then slam poetry was all the rage, and all these Saul Williams types were getting signed. So Def Jam signed a slam poet by the name of Black Ice, and we're like, nah, listen, ain't nobody about to be buying these no goddamn slam poetry records. We're not changing her name. That was a long fight, but we've eventually kept her name Black Ice. Mm-hmm. And we had maybe 4 or 5 records in, and then it just fell apart because kept sleeping with her, and she kept getting her feelings involved, and she just couldn't keep it together long enough to at least put the record out, you know? And we're like, he's not going to stop doing what he's doing. You need to, do you want this or
Yeah.
not? You're one of the biggest labels on the planet. Like this could launch us all into the stratosphere. And it fell apart, man.
And let your PP just knock the castle down.
I mean, it was enough blame for everybody. But it was going to if it was going to crash and burn, it was going to crash and burn. That's how I look at it. But those records we put in, those first 5, I mean, we go into the meetings and you can hear they'd be playing her records throughout these different, and they were just so hyped, and they just loved the look of her, man. She walked through the airport and old white men would be like she was bad. Like she didn't have to, she was just off the looks alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can feel bad. I'm like,
that one hurts. Out of all the losses, that one hurts. That hurts a lot, man. That hurts a lot.
Bruh, see, you needed me on the team because you've been looking for him. Yeah, where's such and such? What, he ain't come in? Oh man, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hey, Slides, for you. He in the trunk. He in the trunk of a car, tied up somewhere, like
I mean,
jabbing him and whatnot. We ain't playing with you, man. I ain't playing with you, man. I'm not playing with you.
The messed up part was I'm the oldest one. I'm 24. I'm the oldest out the group. I'm the old man out the group.
Wow.
Everybody else is 20, 19.
Don't know 20, how to act.
And we're just wilding out, and his mom is our manager, but she can only do so much because she was already in upper age, but we were just wilding out, Nick. We had no structure, no old head to be like, sons.
Yeah, that touch. Hey, what club say? So with artists that got shelved, that some hurt more than others.
Yeah, you don't ever want to get shelved, but sometimes change of management, or they may shelve an album and give you another budget and say, come back with something else. You don't ever want to get shelved, but I'd rather be shelved than blackballed, but that sometimes you never come out of that.
You're out of the game completely.
Yes.
You're gonna have to go to another country or another genre of music.
It's hard to come back from that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes with the shelving, you come up with one record to give them a chance to kind of reconsider. You never know. That's all they want is a hit. But then what's a hit? But that's all they care about. Give them the record that they want to put some money behind, and you can write your own ticket. Easier said than done, of course.
Yeah, it's one of them things where I say it sounds easy, good on paper, right?
Yeah.
Until you try to put it into motion. Okay, so all right, I'm soaking this in. So now I got another question. Do you handle groups like you handle individuals? Like if you was going after, just an individual, or you going after NSYNC? No, I think I had it right. NSYNC, or the Backdoor Boys, or whatever the hell. But so do you try to make, or do they try to make one the ordained leader for the group, or do you have to speak to them as a group?
Either the alpha kind of shows himself, or you pick one to be. Normally with groups, whoever the lead is automatically deemed the guy. That's where we get the term, lead singer syndrome, because everyone points to him as the group representation. And he normally, he's the one that you break the news to for everybody else, because they're going to fall in line regardless for the most part, Yeah,
and I learned, of course, I don't know anything about the rap industry. I remember, because I remember back in the day, the DJ's name was always first. DJ, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince,
Eric B,
Cash Money, Eric B and Rakim, Cash Money, Tat Money, Grandmaster Flash. It wasn't the Furious Five and Grandmaster Flash.
That's right.
And so I guess, but I guess his things went up. And then like in some of the, like in the rock and away from rap, like people don't know Larry Mullen is the leader of U2, not Bono. Bono's just the singer. And they will tell you Larry's like our in-house manager because he's kept us, he's the one that formed, you know, us. So they still defer, you know what I mean, to Larry and Steven for New Order, the drummer is the
that's right
leader and whatnot. But you know, but okay, so just you, maybe it'd be better. So sometimes like the one that they think like they want to be the leader. Has it been times where you like saying to yourself, I think y'all be better if y'all let him drive the bus instead of the one y'all got driving the bus? Have that ever like clicked off in you sometime?
Yeah, if you're dealing with a young group, it's easier to talk to them than as opposed to somebody that's in their that's pushing close to 30. You know, because by the time you're in those 30s, that ego thing, man, everyone thinks they're just as equally as important, and they don't believe in being interchangeable to a certain extent. Young artists, like if you got a group with a young artist, or a young group of artists, yeah, more than likely you can kind of be like, look, this is how it's got to go. You know, you guys want to be rich? You guys want to be famous? Yeah. Okay, this is how it got to go. Not so much with a bunch of 30-year-old men, you know, because everyone thinks they're the man. So, yeah.
Carrie and Club Fortune out here out here throwing rocks at me. So basically you ain't got to worry about the.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. You wish you could work it the way I do, but you can't.
You ain't got. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh my goodness,
that's gonna be forever funny. But maybe he should have listened. If he would have listened to Otis.
You know, that's a great case study of what happened and what.
Otis was level-headed, though. He wasn't. But he was thinking, like, to me, he was more like the greater good for all. Like we're better as a unit than we are individual. Was it the greater sum of the parts? What's that saying? Something like that.
Yeah. But David had the lead singer syndrome. And once they get infected by that, it's hard to kind of get them out of it. Like if you're the main draw, everybody knows you're the main draw. You may not be the intellectual of the group, the one that keeps everything together, but they're here to see you for the most part. You know, It's hard to pull somebody out of that mindset. You know, and when he did go solo, it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. He went solo. It was okay.
She said Otis was a snitch. He would have told. Here we go. I ain't messing with her. I ain't messing with. Okay, so I mean, well, look at the beat. All right, because Paul McCartney and John Lennon, they were both. I mean, you have the same album, and it'll be 7 songs, and Paul's leading on 3. And and then then you get further on into the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club. Then you got George Harrison singing these two. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess that kind of maybe kind of kept.
No, you're right. And to your point, and then when George finally released a solo album, like in the 80s, like we're like, oh, so George was just as good at as these guys.
Yeah, when he had the Fab, back in the days when we were Fab. That was a good song. I like that.
Yeah.
I got my mind set on you. I got But we all knew George could sing. Well, hell, another one.
Us students knew. Us students of the Beatles knew that George was just as talented as but
good guitar player too.
Yeah. See, but the normies, they just go with who's in front. They're always gonna go with who's in front. You ask any casual Beatles fan, normally it's John, right?
Yeah, John Lennon. But yeah, that people that say John Lennon, but I like Paul McCartney better. I like Paul McCartney songs better myself.
Yeah.
But I like them all. But you know what I'm saying. But okay, yeah, and I get it. So I guess it ain't it is probably easily to get Jim Morrison syndrome when there's no one inside the ranks to challenge you.
The challenger, exactly.
Yeah, where Roger Waters got David Gilmour, and David Gilmour can sing. You know what I mean? And I think
it's like it's like those that last the longest. It's your Jimmy Pages, your Robert Plants, your Steven Tylers.
Yes.
With his guy Joe Perry, it's your Bon Jovis and Richie Sambors. That type of group, that structure, usually they last the longest for whatever reason.
Time.
Yeah.
Long time. I remember when Joe Perry done the Joe Perry project, but he still didn't get, he didn't go too far. But it's just like, man, look, they're gonna bury Ozzy and Tommy Iommi together. They're gonna bury them together.
See,
it's not gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna have to, they probably already got a good bloody gravestones over here in the Southampton Dock. And they got it here, and that one's for Tommy, that's for Geezer. That's Geezer's over there.
Yeah, Geezer. And
yeah. And what did Ozzy say? I'm like, I speak Ozzy. I can translate for you.
And then you got Ozzy and Zach Wilde, but my favorite combination is Ozzy and Randy Rhoads. Always,
yeah.
For me,
that
for
was
me hands down.
I was blown. I was like, no, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, please be fake news, even though what no Trump did. Be fake news, man. It wasn't fake news.
I like Tommy, but Randy for me is like,
Randy was like, he was a whole different level.
Yeah, if I had to build the guy from scratch, a guitar player, I'm starting with him, and then everyone else,
But them two, that core group, I bet you, man, they just, you know what I mean? They, I bet you they probably could finish each other's sentences. You know what I mean? They done been around, so much. And Geezer, a lot of people don't know, right? Geezer wrote the whole side 2 of Paranoid album. It was all Geezer Butler. It wasn't me. And people like, I didn't know Geezer could write it. How the hell was we supposed to know, right?
Right. But then people don't read the credits.
Why you messing around with these schlubs? Nah, I'm just kidding. If you stick with Ozzy, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so all right, A&R man. This guy, you done got Club Fortune. He on a 6-year contract, right? And his 6 years is up. And his last album, I mean, it wasn't like super fire, but it done better than normal. Okay, so when his contract is up, do he just walk? Can he re-sign, or do they normally just go on their own, or?
So what it used to be, normally you would want a long-standing relationship with the label. It used to be that was the goal. A lot of times, if by the time you get to your last record for that label, you guys are at each other's heads next. The relationship is pretty much soured at that point, and they're just looking to move on to the next project. They just do this together to honor the contract. The label's like, we're not going to put any money to this. We'll just we'll put it out, and the hell with you. So a lot of times when it gets to that
Club, hey, all that new stuff you wrote, just sat on it. That's at your house that you ain't tell them nothing about. Just sit on it, right?
Yeah, a lot of times when you get to that final record of the contract, it's a lot of times the relationship is kind of tenuous because the label is like, shit, why you don't want to be here anymore? They're offended to a certain extent, and they're not going to really spend money to push your last project on that. I mean, would you? You're in the last year of your 10-year baseball contract.
He ought to expect it, right? You ought to expect it coming. It's your last year.
Yeah, like you're not trying to go, hard to paint like that. No, no.
Premieres, parties. I know you was explaining that the art that they have to pay for that out of their
Promotional
budget,
budget.
right?
Yeah.
So does the label pay for any of that stuff?
I mean, the label pays. They just front everything. That's all.
That means when you see this, that means you. Okay.
Perfect example.
Wow,
So
that's.
we got
I
Meg
mean,
Thee
okay.
Stallion.
So can I say okay? So clubs say, Sly, I know this is coming out of my budget, so I don't want to rent out this giant hall here and this, that, and other, and this costing this, that, and other, da 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 da. I'd rather have it over here and then just have this one, this one, this one here. It's saving me $20,000. Do he have the leeway to say that, to make that kind of suggestion to you?
If he went ahead and already, yeah. So he would say, hey, I want to kind of change up the event. It depends how big the event is. If it's a showcase, album release party, for the most part, that's out of here. Most artists don't mind labels spending to the wall for an album release party.
But I gotta pay it back.
But it's your album release party. Okay,
But I gotta pay it back.
Funk Flex is going to be there. You know, Big Cap's going to be there. Ebro's showing up. You know, like
I got my Natasha. I got my baby twin here. Now here she come clowning. Well, they can't see you. You gotta be, if you can't see yourself on the screen. I can see myself on the screen. See? It's a lot going on. That's Natasha. Bye, baby. That's my baby girl. Look just like me. Man, oh man. Yeah, so they can dial it back some, or like I said, or they just like, no, we're gonna do this. Yeah, but I gotta pay for it. But so you pretty much don't. So is that when Truth Teller come in? Look, stop resisting.
Album release party. Kind of want them to kind of go over the top for it, because it's a big milestone. You know, you put 8 months, 6 months into this blood, sweat, and tears, and you want everybody to, because these are the people that are going to spread word of your record, of your album. These are the tastemakers that are going to go out and promote, through their radio stations, their platforms, their TV shows, their street teams, or all the case may be, to other execs, so these are the people that you want to kind of, bring them all together so I can, and the ambiance and the atmosphere of it. Yeah, it's a celebration. So yeah.
See, I'm a penny pincher. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm like,
you're gonna be like Howling Wolf. I'm just gonna take this $2.
Yes, kept driving that same. This truck here is paid for. It's mine. I don't owe nobody nothing on it. Trying to give him another Cadillac, give him a cat. I don't want a Cadillac. I can buy one whenever I want.
Right. Yeah.
But he just give every time Muddy Waters get mad, they give him another Cadillac, right?
Yeah. That was pretty sad to watch. Like, damn, like that's how he went out, huh? Like that. That's all it took to pacify him was Cadillac, huh?
And McKinley Morganfield, that's his real name. McKinley Morganfield. Where did they come up with them names? But I'll take that over Dontavius, though. I mean, what's your name? Morganfield?
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of Dontarian. Man, Irv, hey, I'm going to throw this in, Sly. I was going to bring it to you. Irv was by the house a couple of days ago, right? And Bianca was here, my oldest daughter. She worked for the county.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing, we in the front yard, and I'm watching them two go back and forth over child support and how men, because I say she worked for the county.
Okay.
That's what she do. and he asking her questions and she answering them back. And she going and he going. And she going and he going. And he stood right there. He stood right there in my front yard. And Irv C1 right there said, you need to put her on camera. You need to put her up here and put in there the child support stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all need to call. I said, but we'd have to do a call in because we can't do the cash thing because I'm not monetized. You know what I'm saying? And he said she was brutal. And he is like, you need to get her. He just, because he makes content. He just pulled his down because he, you know, when they was doing the purge of all us prep guys, right?
Okay, yeah.
He was smart enough to pull his down before I did. So he didn't get, you know, didn't befall the fate that I did. But he is like, bruh, you need to get her up here. You need to get her up here. I said, you think so? He was like, yes. Because that's what she, I mean, but you'll be getting it from the horse. That's her job. She works at the county. That's what she's the one. He said, there, them black Suburbans was cruising the hood. Yeah, that's what I'm like, dude, save yourself, man. They already got me. Ain't no need of both of us going down, right? But she the one, dude, she goes up there to the judge, to the magistrate with the people.
Wow.
You know, with you or with the chick or the dude, the grandmama and the son and the kid. That's what she does. For the county with the fourth largest city in the United States, Houston.
Okay.
So you know the damn trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, you need to and have Carrie. Now, see what I would have to do her, because Carrie come up. Carrie comes up with me and she's straight and she keeps me straight. So I would probably have to put, because I got another boom in the microphone, I probably have to set her here, you know what I'm saying? And have Carrie in, and then I just get to do this. You know, it's just let them, but yeah, but that was his, he is like, dude, you need to put her up here, man.
Yeah, that's going to forever be a hot button issue. That's always going to get you the views, man. I mean, you'll never run out of content with that ever.
Yeah. And see, but plus two, it wouldn't be, you know, he say, she say. This is her job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is what she do, because she was on him. Y'all need to stop letting them get over on y'all on child support, taking y'all damn money. Y'all don't have to. All y'all got to do is this. This is a woman. All you got to do is this. All you have to do is ask for that. They filed for that. The percentage, she was telling him about the DNA testing on how the percentages work and how this shit. And they say, no, she like, no, that's not correct. That's not how it works. What you got to do. So I'm just, this was in my front. What was this? Irv Saturday? I think it was he in the chat. He in the chat. I think this was Saturday. Yeah, debtor's print. It was either Saturday or Sunday in my front yard, and them two just, yeah, Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday.
Well, that will put you over the top, because everybody I've ever heard speak on it, they never provide solutions to it. It's like, okay, so what's the plan? How does one go about? You know, we always talk about the end
but
result
like I say,
of
she's
it.
an insider.
Yeah,
that's her current job. That's what she does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, matter of fact, I probably wouldn't want to put her face on camera, being she worked for the county. But
let's go ahead and cam down.
Yeah, just have her little avatar, right?
Yeah.
And but it's all Saturday around noon. Okay, yeah, because we're standing in my friend in the front yard, and I don't know, that just came up. She said something, he said something, she said something, then he said, okay, well, let me ask you this, and it just went on in. But that's something we might be able to Yeah, she sure did. That's exactly what she told him. Exactly. Word for word. But I think that he might be on to something. You know, that might be that'll probably be a barn burner, right?
There's your
But
pivot. There's your
huh?
pivot. So there's
Yeah,
your pivot.
yeah, but I like doing the stuff that I do. She would have to do that on her own. She's almost done with her Google certification.
Okay.
She's
Dope.
almost done.
Good, good,
But
good.
okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I done got all off the track, but my brother was here. So all right, Club Fortune, you're gonna hang him out the window his last year and he gonna leave. Y'all gonna
I
take
wouldn't do him like that.
okay. The I need to get my 2-inch tapes out the vault. What vault?
What vault? Definitely gonna get that.
My tape. What tape? so you ain't gonna, so wait a minute. So you ain't gonna, he ain't leaving with them tapes, huh? Yeah, no, not leaving with the tapes. Okay, well, Club, I tried, bro. Hey, you better make a copy, leave them at your house. Don't leave them in the studio. This spot behind me, you see behind me, that shelf, that rack over there, if you leave them tapes in that rack right there, that's probably gonna be the last time you see them. Okay. So now I got this. All right. How does it work? Artists leaving from one label and like going to another label. How does that work?
It's like switching jobs or switching companies, you know, same industry. It's just a different culture. By the time you've already decided to leave, you've already vetted that company, you've already had the luncheons with everybody, you've been to the offices, you've been to the different departments, you've got a good feel for what you know, they've already gave you the pitch. They already told you what the game plan is. So you pretty much already know what you're getting yourself into by the time, you know, you drop that last album and then switch over to the new label. But then some labels, you know, at one point, like Capitol was just strictly rock. Like if you walk into the Capitol building, it's a historic landmark now, so they can never touch it. But you walk in there, man, that office, and you just look up, there's nothing but fucking records, gold and platinum records. It's a beautiful scene. You know,
they done made millions.
Yeah, you know, you're in history. Like, but Capitol has always been mainly a rock based label. You know, so back then you were like, okay, what labels can I go to that cater to my sound? So you just kind of just do your vetting to a certain extent. But
Prince say stay away from Sony. That's what Prince said.
See now, and you may have others that be like, I like Sony's system. Sony be like a fourth or fifth choice back then. It's
but
like
he had Slave. Remember, he wrote Slave on his face in the video. The artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
So they own his name, so he couldn't even be Prince no more. Wow. Didn't they call Capitol the house that Nat built?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, when you walk into the front double door entrance, the security guard office, and 2 elevators are right behind. So as soon as you walk in, you see the 2 elevators, but you just looking at his records to the hilt.
I've never been there. I've seen it outside, but I've never.
It's a beautiful sight. You know what? When I get a chance when I get back down there, it's on Vine Street. So I'll see if I can get up in there and it's a beautiful scene, man. You see nothing like it. You know how most labels you walk in and it's just a long ass hallway and the records are like, 6 feet, 7 feet high. This shit is
because I've been to Hitsville, USA. I mean, I've been to Sundown Records. I've been
Yeah, Capitol it's nothing like Capitol. Nothing like Capitol.
Wow, because I know you got what GRP and Sony, Capitol, CBS. Oh man,
they've all folded. So you have really 3 majors, and everybody else is under them. So it's Warner, Universal, BMG, which would be BMG, Sony. So German.
Yeah, guys, yeah, BMG is the Germans.
German, and I forget what the other label would be. So basically 2 Germans and French, Universal French, and then Warner and Sony are basically Germans. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's the guy that got his own airplane? music dude. It ain't Spirit Airline. What airline is it? The guy. Oh man, he got his own airline.
Bob Johnson?
No, white guy.
Oh, Richard Branson, Virgin Atlantic.
Yeah, Virgin. Yeah,
Airlines.
Virgin Records. Yeah, Virgin. Yeah, Virgin Atlantic. Okay. Yeah, I because I can see his face. I just couldn't remember his name. Okay, Sly. So that's the way that goes. So all right. So like when, all right, I'll use Slash as an example because he was with Guns N' Roses and they were on this label, but then he leave Guns N' Roses and went with Velvet Revolver, which was an excellent move to me.
I agree.
Which is on another label. So am I, all right, I'm Slash. Okay, I'm MASH instead of Slash. Okay, so am I joining Velvet Revolver, which means I'm default going to Virgin Atlantic, or am I signing to the label? I mean, how does that work?
So if I remember correctly, all four of those guys came from different groups and from two different labels.
Mhm.
I don't remember what label they signed to directly as Velvet Revolver, but normally in rock groups, they always give themselves an out clause in case of band breakup. This, you can't perform under that old name. So you may be able to keep your performance.
Yeah, because I know,
name.
Stone Temple Pilots.
Right. So
and what, Guns N' Roses, and and then they, yeah,
a lot of times they will even put clauses saying you can't say you're from a prior group, right? Because how we would introduce, hey, it's Scott Weiland from such and such. You can't even. A lot of times they were like, you can't say that. No, what's wrong with you? No, this is not that group. This is a whole different group. So why would you do that? So I think they had a 3-4 album deal. It was a short contract. They pretty much knocked out their contract that pretty quick. But a lot of times a lot of groups give you an out clause in case of band breakup. This and this can happen. This and this can't happen as individual members, But then also that old label is going to get a cut too, because now technically you're still under contract with that old label, even though your band has broken up. But they're going to get their money out of you regardless. Yeah. Or they can make an addendum to your contract saying, okay, we're going to release you temporarily to go perform with this other group in lieu of you pay us a percentage of your earnings or a point off the album.
They just scraping you for every damn dime, huh?
Yeah, basically.
Because I always wonder how that, because Velvet Revolt, look, man, y'all were going to be on the top of the world. Because Stone Temple Pilots was it to me. I tell people, I know everybody. Velvet Revolver was RCA. Okay. And I'm like, hell, I got the damn records. I could just grab them and look on the back of. And some of the back of this records be confusing as hell because it show this producer, this studio, this label, this one, and this one, and appeared courtesy of this. What the hell is all this crap?
So that means that for everybody listed, every studio, that's where they recorded, that's where a budget went to. So they had to get their credit. So if a label cut them a check for 40 hours of studio time, you best believe they're going to get their credit. Like, yeah, this was these songs 5, 6, and 7 recorded at Sunset Studios or whatever the case may be. They're going to get their credit because that's
nice.
Yeah, that's where a label budget went to. Yeah, that's what part of that recording budget went to. Yeah,
I tell people all the time, man, once you start understanding music, once I start, well, let me say myself, and now I had other people tell me the same thing. I can go back and listen to a song because now my head is more advanced than my ear.
Mm-hmm.
I can go back to something that I listened to 10 years ago and have a totally different take of the musical layers of it, but the chorus and the backfill and the the tempo and the beat. And I tell people I've gone back, and I tell people, I look at them funny. I say Plush was not Stone Temple Pilots. best album. Tiny Music, Songs from the Vatican Gift Shop was their best album. And people, I said, listen to it. Now, I ain't talking about well, yeah, I'm listening to it, dude. You listening to it on a piece of crap. I don't care how good a high dollar your phone is. It's not going to reproduce all the stuff that came in on this freaking master mixing console.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear that on junk audio.
Remember that the audio test that they did for Pink Floyd. They say if you got a good system, listen to whatever song that has the helicopter come through.
Yeah.
And if you can hear it kind of go from one speaker to the other, you have a pretty good sound system. That they say use that record to gauge the quality of your audio system.
That's the introduction of another brick in the wall.
Yeah. Yep.
He said, a lot of people, they can't hear. They said, what is he saying? I said, he's saying, you, yes, you, stand still, laddie. Be what? I said, that's what he's saying. That's the headmaster.
Yeah.
Is because the whole story is about growing up in school and all that other. Oh boy, here we go.
See,
look,
he spoke up the devil. Devil shows up and he ain't bring no gifts.
Gifts.
He ain't bring no gifts. Usually the devil bring gifts. That's why, right? And they would usually become bearing gifts.
Yeah, he comes bearing gifts. Yeah, but they were right. But there's a lot of, I always tell people, I said, look, you want to balance your system out, play Grantchester Meadows from Pink Floyd's album, Adam Hart Mother. And they look at me, but then when I see them again, they like, how'd you know this stuff? Dude, okay. Oh, so I think that means he F y'all. I guess that means
no soup for you.
He likes us.
Yeah, I guess that's his way of. Yeah.
Yeah, he likes us. Okay, good. Okay, I got a question for you, Sly. You were making a rock album, or it ain't got to be hard, crunchy. I mean, just a rock album or even a poppy rock album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Butch Vig, Bob Erzin, or Tony Visconti?
I'm going Butch Vig.
You going Butch Vig?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I got to give him his shine. I got to give him his shine. Because you got to have his shine. But why, Sly?
You know what?
I'd say I'd be close to Butch Vig too, to tell you the honest truth. But if I was going more of a older, like the classic rock sound, I'd probably go Tony Visconti. But yeah.
No, I mean, to me, if we're talking, if we're not talking classic rock, if we're talking like progressive, modern, you gotta go Butch, because he has that ear for that particular sound. That's my reason for it.
Yeah, that's the same reason I got too. Now this one, I don't know. This one's gonna be all you. If you were making an R&B album,
okay,
Brian Cox, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, or Jermaine Dupri?
I'm calling R. Kelly. I know it sounds. Listen,
you got what? Just you gonna bail him out?
Listen, Cox has huge records. Brian Cox he's he put his dick on the table. It's like, this is Brian Cox. Everybody, y'all, everybody sit down. I respect all those guys. You put a gun to my head to make the best R&B album, give me R. Kelly. Like,
okay, but out of them three,
out of those three, okay, what who's the other two besides
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Brian Cox, or Jermaine Dupri? That's a hard one.
Okay, so Jimmy Jam, Rhythm Nation, Jermaine Dupri, Emancipation, Mimi, Usher, Confessions, and then Brian Cox, Everybody. Okay, is this an album or are we just talking a song?
An album. An entire album.
An entire
start
album?
To finish.
Shit. I'll take a chance with Jermaine Dupri. If Jermaine Dupri is in his right
and
mindset,
I actually wrote down what I thought you would pick on both, and I got them both right. I said he's gonna pick Butch Vig, and he's gonna pick Jermaine
Listen,
Dupri. I
me
got
and
them both right.
Jermaine, we're going to the strip club. I got to get him in the right mindset. I got whatever he wants. We're going to the strip club. Boom, boom, quee. I'm sorry. Get a slide of some ones. Do your thing, boom, quee. Get him right. Get him right.
I was guessing because first I changed because first I said I switched from Brian Cox for you to Jermaine Dupri, but on the rock when I picked Butch Vig right off the rip for you. So I got you kind of figured out. I feel
I like Brian. I think JD has the better ear for a younger demographic if need be.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Cox's records are great, but a lot of it's older R&B ish. You know, it's more mature, and so yeah, I would go JD just because he can hit all metrics as far as the demographics.
You got a point there. You got a point, but I only got 2.5.
Yeah,
because one's a follow up. Then because I don't want to, because I always try to stay under 2 hours. We ain't at an hour and a half yet, but I need to get it going. All right. Besides what they
there's a fly in my soup.
yeah. Besides what they want us to see, is there a creative difference between the genres of music?
Stark, night and day. The motivations are different. And I'm glad you asked that question. I was sitting there watching an interview with Yngwie Malmsteen, and he's a Swede, and he grew up listening to nothing but classical music, and a lot of that he employs that into his guitar playing. But he was like, "Oh, for my answer now, piano, drums." Have been around for how many hundreds of years?
Yeah,
those are your two foundations for pretty much all of your songs that have ever been written. It's piano or drums.
Yeah, piano, drums, violin, and brass. Yeah, been around forever.
So any genre of music that doesn't incorporate that, hip hop. Sorry, but vastly. I mean, even. The blues, country, rock all have different distinct beginnings, sounds. You can tell a rock record, you can tell a blues record. You know these those songs when you hear them. You just listen to the music and the way it's going, whatever the case may be. I mean, I know you hate disco, but even disco, because without disco, there's no hip hop. I agree with people that say that.
Hell, without Giorgio Moroder, there was no disco. Yeah. Well, you probably still would have had it, but you wouldn't have.
It would be way different.
Big contributor,
right,
to disco.
Yeah,
huge contributor.
Yeah,
is it the most underrated R&B producer? My choice is the Underdogs. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Most underrated R&B producer. Okay, I gotta come back to that one. Okay.
Go ahead.
Even with the 80s records, all the pop records from the 80s. Just that creativeness behind it. I guess you just have to be in that particular frame of mind. It all requires a certain mindset to make these records. It's rarely just go in there and just throw some shit together and it just comes out. I don't know. It just came out. It just did not come out.
Yeah, it just fell. All the pieces fell into place.
Yeah,
right.
There's 88 keys on the piano. You've played every combination of any on the piano has been played throughout the history of music. It comes from somewhere, So yeah.
And I noticed something. Some people, like rock guys or whatever, the handful of the ones that can play a piano, like Steven Tyler, for one. It's hard to explain, being that I play. They play like they sing or sound. It's hard for me to explain it though.
Yeah.
Just like me, I know I talk, pause, and then I talk some more, and I boom boom boom, boom boom, boom boom, boom boom boom, boom boom, but boom boom boom. I played the way I talk, which is strange, and that I just until somebody told me that, like, dude, you play like you talk. What do you mean I play like I talk?
Okay.
But then because Steven, just using him for as example, he plays like he sings. Steve Perry, Journey, same thing.
Yeah.
He sings the way he plays. Whoa, 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 clink, clink, is he feeling, clink, a feeling that way? And I'm like, all right, now, if you listen to him sing without him playing or listen to it play without the singing, it don't sound right. But when you mesh.
Yeah, Dennis DeYoung from Styx.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, another example. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you mix them together, it just the sound, and yeah, that's the difference between the genre. Okay. How is it that Rick Rubin can switch genres so easily? Because he'd do Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
He'd do Jay-Z. He'd do. I mean,
he embodies what music theory allows you to do. Once you understand how music works, you can go from any genre on any level on any given Sunday and create a hit. Because he's not a musician.
No,
he's not a multi-instrumentalist. Like, he just understands music. He understands the artist he's dealing with. He can get in their heads and be like, okay, I understand what you're trying to go. Let me pluck out this from you, and then let me add something to it. And they're sitting there like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, he's the perfect embodiment. He's the walking music theory.
Yeah, because 99 Problems sound like a Beastie Boys song with Jay-Z rapping on
it. All day.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. And Beastie Boys is rock music with dudes rapping on it. That's the way I've always like Sabotage, which one of my favorite. That's a rock song.
That's an awesome record. Still a good record to this day.
Yeah. Can't stand it. I know you're playing. And I'm like, oh man, I'm losing
the
it.
Video on top of it. That's what I think.
Like Starsky and Hutch, show 70s.
Another lost art is the visual with the song. I mean, visuals can make or break a song. Every time I listen to Hero by Foo Fighters, I see the guy run into the burning building. Yeah, I see it when I hear the record every time without fail. Like,
mine is Everlong. I love My Hero, and the Everlong one just be in my mind. Every time when I hear Foo Fighters Everlong, I see the video. I see the video. Love the Foo Fighters, and I tell Pete that's a trip. Yeah, Kurt Cobain's gone. Man, what are they gonna do? Hey. Well, how about I go from drums to guitar? I hire my drummer that was my friend in high school, and we start another band. And is this blasphemy saying that the Foo Fighters is bigger than Nirvana? Is that blasphemy?
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's the sad reality. Is that a sad reality? It's the reality.
Yeah, if I had the choice, listen to Nirvana. All right, here's your album, Nevermind, which was a great album.
Yeah.
Or you got the Foo Fighters first album. I think I'm going Foo Fighters.
I think that would come down to personal preference.
Yeah. Man, because first time when I heard Big Me, that was it. I was sold. And they doing the Mentos commercial with the mints and doing that in the video.
Yes. Yeah. I think the video has been a lost art because a lot of these songs will have more punch and more staying power if they had visuals like that would make you think and be like, wow, okay, yeah, so.
He said it's not blasphemy, it's true. Okay, yeah, I thought it was just me. But yeah, but okay. That one, and then I think Deftones and got their stuff back together and
Okay.
whatnot. Because I mean, man, Deftones was badass. Can the game be saved, or is independent labels the future? Is the old way of doing things just the big giant powerhouses, or are they gonna find a way to keep hold of things, or is
I'll say this: YouTube, and who runs YouTube? Leo Cohen runs the music division of YouTube. The labels will always win. It'll always come back home to the big labels. It may be it's because you have three big ones. You got a bunch of babies underneath. At the end of the day, major labels, it will always come back home to them.
Yeah, because I said everybody ain't gonna be able to pull off a Radiohead, right? And a Pixies.
No,
it's not gonna happen.
No, and hip hop does not allow you that type of loyalty in the fan base. It just doesn't.
Yeah, the video back in the day, to me, the video used to sell the song to a certain degree. Now, because there's a lot of songs. If I like the song, I like the song.
Yeah.
But
I like what Hatch Dragon said, because now you got a bunch of kids now coming across those old AMV videos with Dragon Ball Z with the Linkin Park songs. So now all of a sudden everybody's like, who's this Linkin Park group? And it's like, what do you mean? And I saw this Dragon Ball Z video. Well, that's not their video, but I get it. So, all those creators back then that use these the AMV, the Windows media viewer, and those old videos started kind of resurface again and kind of rejuvenating these old groups that they use their music for, But yeah, every time you see Vegeta dying, is to the backtrack, there's a Linkin Park record playing somewhere in the background. So,
yeah, but man, that's great. Yeah, he say, yeah, change. Yeah, look, change in the House of Flies, because that's the name of it, because everybody just know the change. Well, I'm quite sure Hatch Dragon knows, but a lot of people know this change in the House of Flies. That's the song, that and Digital Bath by Deftones. Oh, and then song My Own Summer, Kitty redone My Own Summer. People like, man, you hear this chick, this group, this. I said, dude, that's a Deftones song.
Yeah.
I said, no diss to Kitty, because they put it down. They laid it down.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's a Deftones song.
Yeah, I still listen to Minerva. Like that's in my playlist.
I like that's all I still listen to. So even though the independents is the way, the big ones are still gonna find a way.
They have access to everything that the independents would need at some point.
See, I say it's something. I was on this big dude. I used to go on these streams years ago, and it was just music people, and they up there and they talking this, that, and other, and the chat is just full. And I'm gonna say that, then I'll let you have we make our finals and get up and blast off. But I was like, though I'm a big Pixies fan, huge Pixies fan, Radiohead, Pixies. I mean, it's so many people, like say Foo Fighters, Nirvana, they say, we listen to the Pixies. Yeah, you got the interview with Kurt Cobain when he is like, dude, we listen to the Pixies, because that was, and we trying to get that. They listen to the Pixies and Sonic Youth, and all of them say the same thing. All right, Radiohead, y'all made it out. Pixies, y'all made it out. Y'all got your own thing. Why don't y'all help these other folks? Or try to, even though Dick Dale helped them all, because Dick Dale wrote the blueprint on how to, do it without the label. He's like, do you know when you they use your music for a TV commercial, you won't get a dime. You won't get a dime of that money, and the music, and they hate Dick Dale. They did. But
I'll say this: they help in ways like they'll bring them on tour. You'll see that more than anything.
Than
Not
anything.
even,
Okay.
yeah, not song features, none of that. I mean, when they go on tour, they bring those young guys, those new bands,
Get them
on
that
them as
get that exposure.
yeah, they will do that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and Too Short had the blueprint too. I mean, he's so dude. The first Too Short album I bought was tape was out of the trunk of a car.
Okay.
It wasn't out of a record store. Dude, when I came back from Germany, I had to go to Compton to pick up my car that came in from Germany. I didn't even know what the fuck Compton was, because it wasn't no straight out of Compton, crazy mofo, that didn't even exist then,
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this man, dude, and they selling trunks, tapes out of cars, and that's when I was still bootlegging too. So I use your stuff and I chop it up and put it in mine and sell it and whatnot. I ain't worried. I mean,
you know what I saw today that made me chuckle? The Eagles are on tour, right?
Are you kidding me?
But the funny
held and froze over.
Yeah, it's the long final tour goodbye, right? Guess who's their opening act? Steely Dan.
How?
I just seen the flyer today.
Okay, well, who's playing? Because he's dead. Hey. So Fagan's just playing by himself.
Hey, cats get replaced every day.
Hey, is Michael McDonald playing with him? Because he always he played with Steely Dan a lot.
Right. I don't know what their lineup is as far as the members. All I know is the Eagles with Steely Dan.
How did we get here?
That gave me the biggest chuckle.
Wow.
Well, they've been beefing for like 50 years now, like low-key 50-year beef. And you guys are on tour, but they got you Steely Dan.
They finally got you, huh? You're at the bottom and we're at the top. Because back then, it was the other way around.
That's right. It sure was.
And I'm a big Steely Dan fan. Yeah. I mean, he said, you got it, bro. Man, I'm trying to tell you, I mean, man, all the gems that they got, plenty of them. But man, that's funny that you say, man, Michael McDonald, and I'm gonna say this and I'm done, is an unsung musical hero. Cause you was with the Doobie Brothers, but you done the backing vocals with Christopher Cross. Remember Ride Like the Wind? And I got a long way to go. Such a long way. When you heard that voice, that's him. To make it to the border of Mexico. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. And then what's your boys? They stole that beat.
Warren G and
Warren G. Yeah. It was a clear white moon. Warren G's on the strip trying to consume. Yeah. And people like that beat. I'm like, man, that's the Doobie Brothers. Come on, y'all.
Maybe if Michael had been a little bit more aggressive, or more of a bigger personality, he may have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. He was with Kenny Loggins. This is it. He's the back. His voice. As soon as you hear the voice, as soon as you hear him, your song gonna be a hit.
Yeah. Michael, he was chill. Like he wasn't.
Yeah. He done. Like I say, he done. Steely Dan, Kenny Loggins, Doobie Brothers. Just Christopher Cross. He done. So damn Mick Jackson Brown. You know what I mean? Like, wow, dude. And he needs some trophies. He needs some plaques. He needs some what's up, Reg? What Reg say? They got 3-4 guitar players that is somewhat famous that played with Steely Dan to replace Becker.
Okay, that's how they're doing it. I like that because you bring in some known names,
some fresh blood.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Skunk.
how.
I don't know if Skunk. A lot of people don't know that he's a brain.
Mm.
He done work for NASA and all kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Skunk Baxter. Well, they call him Skunk. His real name is Jeff. Skunk Baxter. Yeah. So, man, he needs something with his name on it, man. He needs something for us music heads, because as soon as you hear the voice, you know it's him.
Yeah.
You can't mistake his voice. People are, who is that? Man, that's me. You know who it is as soon as you hear it. Anything you want to throw in, bruh?
You know what, to Reg's point, I'm glad he said that, because once again, I hate to keep doing this, but the stark difference between hip hop and let's say rock. You can go to a rock show and they'll have, famous folk come out just to jam alongside whoever you went to go see, and you didn't even expect them to come out. Like right now, Pantera's on tour, and they got Zach Wild and somebody else pretty famous to cover Dimebag Darrell's parts, and they're on tour right now with Metallica. Like they do this type of shit. Like, hey, come tour. And
you know why the rappers don't do it?
Go ahead.
Because they don't play any instruments. They have no tone, and they have no talent outside of the hood. They have ghetto talent, not world-renowned talent. That's why.
I'll leave it at that. I wasn't trying to start anything, y'all. That was all Nick.
Okay, name your favorite rapper. What instrument do he play?
Not a damn one. I don't think Rakim plays a violin. And
no,
he's my all-time favorite. Him and Nas, but I don't think they play.
Nas and Rakim. I love Rakim a lot.
Yeah,
but I mean, only the Roots, and only the Roots, and that a couple of people, but the ones that play, they don't rap.
Yeah, I just love seeing they bring in special guest guitarists, special guest drummers, or they'll be all on stage like Godsmack, and they'll all switch instruments and start playing each other's instruments. I'm just like,
dude, Dave Mustaine went on stage with Metallica.
Yes.
After they booted him off years ago, and he come up there and
talk about it
in.
That's a real beat.
I was losing my freaking mind, because when they kicked him out, and I was like,
he wrote all those records. He wrote all those records. Was it for Kill 'Em All? That first album, that first major album?
Yeah. Ride the Lightning.
Right.
Kill 'Em All. Ride the Lightning.
And that was all Dave. Yeah. Yes. He wrote all them fucking records, man.
Yeah. And people don't know that. And then I guess he said, well, I'll show you. I'll start my own rock band. And they laughed. And next thing you know, here's Megadeth. Yeah, dude, foreclosure of a dream. The housing market was probably ready to kill him, because he put down what they was doing with the redlining and Fannie Mae Freddie Mac stuff. He put it to song.
Yeah,
he put it to, but people just listen. I'm like, dude, he trying to tell the SNL bailout. He put it to song.
Yeah, yeah. And that's how they beef back then. That's how musicians beef, Yeah, that's how they did it back then.
Yeah, but I was so, man, I was cool. I'm like, I'm complete.
I'm glad to see that.
Dave Mustaine back on stage with Metallica for one more time. My life is complete.
Yeah.
Brother, I ain't gonna hold you up no more. I done had you enough. I give a round for Sly for educating us on this stuff. Now, see, I'm gonna go back and listen to it again.
Okay.
so I can pick up some of the stuff, because I don't know. I'm the first one to say I know this side of the curtain.
Yeah.
I don't know that side of the curtain.
Which
I
is
don't
just as
know how the
important.
sausage is made, as they say.
But it's just as important because if the consumer is not buying it, so
Yeah, if you ain't got nobody to want the sausage, you wasting time making the sausage.
Yeah.
But this new stuff, I can't listen to that shit, Sly. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. That's why when I just be in your chat, just be kicking the bots out and stuff like that. But I don't say nothing. So what do you say? I forgot you. Don't forget his question.
Geez, underrated.
Oh, the one you said you get back to. What was it again?
Underrated R&B producers.
Yeah.
You know how many unsung heroes in R&B right now? Just okay, Club Fortune. You want to give me a couple of days, bro.
Say you got to marinate on that one.
I got there's so many. There's so many. Hell, I could. Yeah, it's. Give me a couple of days, bro. I got you. I won't forget. I promise.
Yeah, because we see each other all the time anyway, right?
Yeah.
Well, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming out, and I appreciate Sly for sitting here letting me pelt him for almost 2 hours. And I'll get there's gonna be another victim, like I say, because I got keep it techie. I got to get him. AM1. He said he down for the shits. And I'm picking certain people for certain things. Now I tell people, well, man, bring me on, and I can tell you about how to use your car to get chicks. And man, what the fuck, man, stop. I mean, excuse me. I mean, dude, no, that's not what I'm trying to perpetuate here. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That ain't how we get down. There's plenty of that garbage. I mean, content already out there. So
is there hope for RBR that we can see him come through, make a guest appearance? I think y'all would have a good conversation.
Here, you. I'm sick of you.
I think
every time I turn around, there you are. Hard ER. God dang it.
Hey,
I'm telling you, that's when I was looking at him and I sent that link to Carrie, and Carrie was like, turn it off. Turn it off. Because I mean,
you know what, Nick? Honestly, I'm halfway tempted to bring him on. I kind of want to. Like, I'm half tempted, man. When he's calm and
but you never know. He'll be calm, and then just the slightest thing, and poof.
I kind of want to bring him on.
And when he's gone, you can't get him back.
Yeah, you just gotta.
Oh yeah, y'all. Carrie is my filter. Okay. She's the filter, so if you don't pass, if you don't pass her, you're not gonna get up on my panel. I'm sorry.
As it should be.
That's her job, and
as it should be.
Yeah. So but he crazy, but he's insane. But Kara said, Nick, he's insane. Why are you listening to him? He's insane. That's what she keep telling me. He's insane.
Norfolk Southern off the rails. Yes, I'm here for it.
In the ditch, it says off the tracks, down the side, in the ditch, and laid on the side. But he'll be cool. He was that last time he was. I'm like, man, it's 45 minutes. He just is cool. I'm like, all right.
I think he knows who to pull that shit with.
5 minutes later, I'm like, well, fuck.
It had to get run.
And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm out. Because I'm like, and then I had to catch myself saying, RBR, what are you talking about? Wait a minute, what am I talking about? I'm trying to get him the reason. What's the matter with me?
Spin out in the Hellcat.
Spins out in a Hellcat. Something about right. That sounds about right. But he was just, everything was fine. And I don't know what it was. Poof. And Reg didn't say nothing crazy to him. He just.
It don't take much, but I think he knows who to pull that shit with. But I'm halfway tempted, Nick.
Hey, you can. I'll be in the chat because I'll be in the chat. Something's wrong with him.
I kind of have an idea of what I want to talk to him about.
He agreed to do a one-on-one with Carrie, but he reneged.
Did he?
Yes,
Okay.
he reneged on her.
Okay. Because he knew what time it was.
Yeah, he reneged because I already told him I wasn't gonna say anything.
Mhm.
I was, you know me, I'm just running the thing. I have no questions. I have nothing. That was just gonna be a her and him thing, and I was just gonna run the deal.
Mhm.
And he reneged on her after he said he would do it.
Okay. I'm 50% right now. If I get 60, 75%, I'll do it. But right now I'm 50% because I just gotta keep the topics in line and don't let them go off the rails. But
what Reg say, he trying to do it tomorrow. RBR hasn't emailed him back.
He is content gold. Just I think I'm better because I'm light skinned. Oh my God. Who says this shit?
I mean, how? I can't. That's what I'm saying. It's not for me. I'm not built for it. I admit it. I'm not built for it. Now I can moderate it. I can run a switchboard, moving the screen around, all doing all this stuff, and I can do all that. I can do all that. And y'all be talking, but I'm gonna have my freaking earplugs in, and I ain't even gonna be on the screen. Y'all just gonna see me doing all the pop outs and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm 50% with it. I think if I could just here's where don't deviate, So we'll see.
Yeah, keep them in the groove, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
Okay, well we'll keep our eye on it, y'all. Man, I think this was great. I like this. These the ones I like doing. I like doing stuff like this.
Definitely.
So I'll get some more. Get some more up here. And look, two men talk for 2 hours and didn't mention nothing about. Well, now technically we didn't. Well, you talking about one producer that threw his weenie in the damn mixing bowl. But besides that, this wasn't the weenie show. So
no.
And that's what I like.
Yeah.
Y'all be good, be safe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Peace.